In the following days, Jason was completely busy. In order to better integrate into the character, Jason began to read all the information on Rainbow Tower. The first thing he checked was the income and expenditure details of the Rainbow Tower, as well as the main industries of the entire province of London. This sight surprised Jason. The wealth in the province of London was huge, far more than he imagined. The province of Londo is one of the largest economic provinces in the entire Salem Empire. A large number of elixirs, minerals, spiritual crystals, spiritual cores, etc. are sold to various provinces in the mainland every year, and the output value is astonishingly high. Each of the several major forces that can stand in the province of London has astonishing wealth and power. Among them, the Boulding family rose to prominence hundreds of years ago by inadvertently occupying a place rich in elixirs in the prosperous mountains. Originally, this was nothing. It was a place rich in elixirs. Several major forces in the province of London were more or less in the prosperous mountains. There are almost all of them, but because the Boulding family is full of talents, there are a large number of elixirs with elixir talents. Then, by preparing elixirs, recruiting a large number of elixirs, they slowly developed and became the province of Londo. One of the top forces, its main income comes from elixirs. The Spirit Master Guild has gained a lot of profits by occupying the only high-grade spiritual crystal mine in the Bulua Mountains. The Adventurers Guild, for example, purchases special materials such as spirit beast spirit cores, furs, blood, bones, and other materials harvested by adventurers entering the Everfall Mountains, and exports them to various parts of the empire. Together with a place for producing elixirs, Luan a foothold in many provinces. The other two major families, the Ariato family and the Toby family, are similar. They have amassed a lot of wealth and expanded their family power by producing elixir materials, controlling a large number of stores, opening chambers of commerce, establishing large-scale adventure groups, etc. Jason originally thought that the Rainbow Tower, which was a spiritual medicine master's tower and the Spiritual Medicine Masters Union established in the province of Toronto, would establish itself in the province by preparing spiritual medicine. However, after Jason read all the information, he found that reality was completely opposite to his imagination. Over the years, the Rainbow Tower's output of elixirs has been extremely low every year, and it has even been a loss in most years. What really keeps the Rainbow Tower afloat is the Shadow Valley owned by the Rainbow Tower. As a Shadow Valley with 2 rare mineral veins, a large number of elixirs, and a piece of spiritual crystal mine, the annual output is an extremely huge number. Among them, a large number of elixirs in the Shadow Valley are used for the Rainbow Tower. The elixir masters in the mine produce and sell them themselves, and of course they basically make a loss. The other 2 rare mineral veins and a piece of spiritual crystal mine are exported to other provinces to gain profits and maintain the operation of the Rainbow Tower. Jason couldn't help but be surprised by this information. As an elixir union that can produce its own elixirs and has a large number of elixir masters, its business on elixirs is losing money every year. It needs support from other industries to maintain its business. This made Jason feel incredible. However, after fully browsing the detailed income and expenditure report, he realized that the situation of Rainbow Tower was really worrying. Because the status of the Rainbow Tower has become weaker and weaker over the years, a large number of elixirs have been taken over by the Boulding family, causing the Boulding family to become more and more powerful, and even though the Rainbow Tower is an elixir, if the trade union wants to attract some elixir masters, it must attract them through generous treatment. But this has also led to the great power of the elixirs in the Rainbow Tower workshop, especially some high-level elixirs. The Rainbow Tower has very low constraints on them. These high-level elixirs consume the Rainbow Tower's resources every year. Resources are even higher than the value they create. However, as the Elixir Medicine Trade Union, Rainbow Tower cannot sell elixirs. This results in the fact that Rainbow Tower almost loses money from elixirs every year, which means it uses a lot of resources to support a large group of elixirs. This made Jason couldn't help but sigh. It has to be said that it is an irony that a guild of elixirs does not make money by elixirs, but by selling materials. Jason understood that if he wanted to reverse this situation and let the Rainbow Tower rise again in the province of Toronto, it would be impossible to rely on himself alone, and he was destined to be a passerby. The only way to get the Rainbow Tower out of the status quo, and in the spirit only by making a difference in pharmaceuticals, can we truly stand proudly. Fortunately, Jason was gratified that after he came to the Rainbow Tower workshop on his first day, the new standards introduced were just the first step in the reform of Rainbow Tower. Researching like crazy, investigating a large amount of information about the Rainbow Tower, Jason completely forgot about time. Waking up again, he was interrupted by Lure's request for instructions. On the third day of the deadline given by Jason, the Bolding family obediently sent spirit cards and high-level elixir materials worth 10 billion spirit coins. Under the awe and respect of Lures, Jason came to the living room of the Rainbow Tower. On the table in the living room, there was a long row of spiritual cards and 20 boxes of different materials. In a box, there are faintly strong spiritual energy fluctuations escaping. President Jason, these are the things sent by the Bolding family. Among them are 35 anonymous gold cards common to the 4 major spiritual coin shops in the mainland. Each one contains 100 million spiritual coins and is worth 35 million. Billions. Among the 20 boxes left, 5 of them contain 8th-level materials, and 15 boxes contain 7th-level materials. Lures introduced seriously, but there was a faint hint of emotion in his tone. Trembling, 10 billion spiritual coins, even a behemoth like the Rainbow Tower needs many years of accumulation to have such huge profits, but now, with the strength of President Jason, the Bolding family is obedient. Lures couldn't help but be shocked when he handed it over. Although Jason has only been in the Rainbow Tower for a few days, in the hearts of Lures and others, Jason's prestige is deeper than that of all previous presidents who have stayed for a very long time. Jason took a few steps to the table in the living room. He ignored the long row of gold-encrusted spirit cards. Instead, he focused on the 5 top boxes and opened them. The rich energy of various attributes suddenly dissipated, giving people an inexplicable shock. This is life essence grass? Jason couldn't help but froze when he saw the contents of the first wooden box. This is a palm-sized elixir, all green, except for the bright color. It looks like an ordinary weed. It looks extremely inconspicuous, but the amazing breath of life emanating from it shows its extraordinary power. Ordinary. With Jason's eyesight, he was able to recognize it instantly. It was an 8th-level life essence grass, without any damage and extremely complete. The appearance of the life essence grass made Jason stunned for a moment, and then his eyes revealed inexplicable joy. This life essence grass is an extremely unique elixir, an 8th-level treasure. The reason why it is of such a high level is not only because it grows in a special environment and is extremely rare, but also because of its ability to cure all diseases. There is a great relationship. Of course, it's not the curative effect of the life essence grass that makes Jason excited. In fact, as long as it is an 8th-level elixir material, none of it is simple. What really makes Jason excited is the life essence grass, which has many kinds of ingredients. The main material of the 8th-level Emperor-level healing elixir, and one of these 8th-level Emperor-level elixirs is the longevity elixir. Immortality potion, the 8th-order Emperor-level peak elixir, is the most miraculous elixir among the 8th-order Emperor-level elixirs. After taking it, it can increase anyone's lifespan by 12 years, and its main materials are 3 types: Taisui wood, longevity fruit, life essence grass. Among them, the most difficult Taisui wood, Jason had already obtained it at the trade fair of the Spiritual Medicine Master Conference a few years ago, and the longevity fruit was also found by him in the Spirit Medicine Master Tower, and now it is in this province of Toronto. Jason was so excited that he found the last of the 3 main ingredients of the longevity potion, the life essence grass. Although life essence grass is not irreplaceable in immortality potions, its substitutes are all very rare and extremely difficult to find. Moreover, using substitutes to prepare longevity potions will not be as effective as life essence grass. With a smile on his face, Jason put the life essence grass into his space ring, and then set his sights on the second jade box that exuded amazing fire spiritual power. Lying quietly in the center of the box is a fist-sized, red fruit. A misty fiery red spiritual power is constantly escaping from it. In the center of the fruit, there is a faint fiery red stream of light. Like a fire dragon, it keeps swimming around. 8th level elixir, dragon fruit. Jason nodded and put it into the space ring. According to legend, dragon fruit is a fruit watered by a giant fire dragon using its own essence. It has an extremely rich fire spirit. After taking it, a fire spiritual master can be reborn and possess the power of a fire dragon. However, Jason knew that although this dragon fruit is called a fire dragon, it has nothing to do with any fire dragon. It is a powerful fruit that grows in an environment with extremely rich fire spiritual elements. It is not suitable for fire spiritual masters. It is of great benefit. In the third box, there is a crystal that looks like tears of hatred, the size of a thumb, and has a very strong breath of life. This is the 8th level Emperor level material Tears of Life, which is the main material for a variety of 8th level healing potions. Jason also included it in the space ring. Jason continued to look down. Just before he reached the 4th and 5th boxes, a biting chill hit Jason's face. After seeing the contents of the 4th and 5th boxes, Jason was stunned for a moment, his expression a bit stunned. What is in the 4th box is a palm-sized piece of ice soul, exuding a dense and chilling air. This is the 8th level material, Xian Binghan Soul. In the 5th box, there is a piece of dragon-shaped dead wood, with a brown inner layer and a hazy layer of ice flowers on the surface. It also exudes an astonishing cold air, Long Yuan Hanmu. These two materials are exactly the two main materials for the 8th order Emperor level Frost Potion. At this moment, Jason thought of Wayne. Jason has never thought of himself as an emotional person. In his previous life, the only thing he had in his mind was elixir science, and nothing else except elixir science. However, in this life, Jason found that he was much more sensitive. Spiritual medicine and cultivation had always been the themes in his heart, but besides that, there were some things that he really wanted to cherish. Friends, relatives, Jason couldn't say what kind of feeling it was, but he felt very comfortable. In addition to having a goal and striving for value, there was something in his heart that he could protect and care about. It has been almost 7 years since Wayne left me. In these 7 years, a lot has happened. Everyone is still there and growing continuously. Only after Wayne left for the Arctic ice field, there was no news at all. I don't know if Wayne is okay at this time. Jason suddenly missed that guy who was a little decadent, a little arrogant, but a complete man. If he were here now and learned that these two materials were actually the main ingredients of the 8th level Emperor level spiritual potion, the Frost Potion, he would probably be extremely excited. President Jason, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? Lure's words woke Jason up. He raised his head and caught Lure's frightened gaze. Jason smiled, "It's nothing, I just didn't expect it." These two. Jason said silently in his heart as he put Xian Binghan Soul and Long Yuan Han Mu into his space ring. Wayne, come back soon. I'll keep these two materials for you. Next, Jason was no longer in the mood to check out the remaining materials, and the 7th level materials were no longer very attractive to Jason. After a brief appraisal, Jason took everything all are included in the space ring. How are the elixir masters doing lately? Jason asked Lures. Very good, Ruer said with a somewhat excited expression. Now those elixir masters prepare a large number of elixirs every day, and the material utilization rate is much higher than before. Every day in the Rainbow Tower, I will receive a large amount of elixirs prepared by them at night. Lures looked at Jason with admiration. When Jason just introduced the new standards, he was still a little worried because the new standards were so different from the previous rules. Too many. The elixirs in the workshop are used to living a leisurely life every day, so how can they stand such high-intensity standards? In Lure's mind, once the new standards come out, it is estimated that many elixirs will meet them. Resigned, but what Lures didn't expect was that it had been 2 days since the new standards came out, but Rainbow Tower had not received a resignation application from an elixir. On the contrary, the elixirs in the workshop were like as if they had taken expired aphrodisiacs. Each of them was preparing elixirs every day, which made Lures a little dumbfounded. Lures had enjoyed a privileged life since he was a child, so naturally he didn't understand those low-level elixirs. The idea, in fact, is that the more relaxed and tolerant Rainbow Tower is to them as an employer, the more they will not abide by the rules and feel that all this is what they should be. On the contrary, if they are put in shackles and Jason palms them to death, Niobe and the defeat of the Bolden family made their hearts full of fear and expectation. Even if some elixir masters really wanted to resign, they would wait until they calmed down after a few days before resigning. Before that, you have to work hard. Jason nodded. Although Rainbow Tower has been losing money in elixirs over the years, it still has the foundation. The most important thing is those elixir masters. As long as they prepare it hard, everything will go well in Rainbow Tower. Direction development. As long as everything is on track, and if there are no accidents, in 10 days and a half, I will be able to take the time to leave and go to Chi'er province to see my disciple Loken. So in the following days, Jason did not put too much emphasis on the Rainbow Tower, but practiced diligently every day. At the same time, he began to match the formulas of some of the elixirs based on the 8th level and 7th level elixirs he owned. A bottle of powerful 7th level or 8th level Emperor elixir can be prepared not only with 1 or 2 powerful main materials, but also requires a large amount of materials. Although these other materials are not as good as the main materials, it is difficult to search, but it is not easy to collect them all. However, what Jason did not expect was that just a few days later, Lures, Dalit, and Alberta rushed into his office. President Jason, what's wrong? The Bolding family has gone crazy these days. They have begun to sell a large number of high-quality elixirs in various cities in the Rondo province. The most among them are those with the highest demand on the market. The prices of 3rd level, 4th level, and 5th level healing potions are lower than usual. Now, the number of people in all the markets in our Rainbow Tower has been reduced by nearly half, and many of them used to wholesale elixirs in our Rainbow Tower. The merchants also went directly to the Bolding family's market. In just a few days, our Rainbow Tower has suffered a big economic blow. The 3 rulers all had worried looks on their faces. In the office, Jason's brows suddenly furrowed. In a price war, they can do it, but we can't. For the same materials and the same medicine, no matter how low the Bolding family's price is, it can't be lower. Wherever you go, our Rainbow Tower can take care of it. President Jason, this is different. Lures had a look of embarrassment on his face. After the development of the Bolding family over the years, the number and level of their elixirs are greater than those of our Rainbow Tower. Are much stronger, so the elixirs of our Rainbow Tower are not as high quality as the others. Moreover, the Bolding family has also launched 2 new low-level healing potions. The efficacy is not much worse than ordinary healing potions, but the price is lower. Quite a few, attracting a large number of adventurers. It's not as high quality as the other party? The formulas of healing potions on the mainland are all the same. It's the same elixir, so what's the difference? Jason was a little confused. This Lure seemed a little embarrassed to say it, and said awkwardly, President Jason, there is still a certain gap between our Rainbow Tower spirit potion and the other party in terms of medicinal fusion. Medicinal fusion? Sen was a little startled, then frowned and said, so the Bolding family's new low-level treatment potion? Did you bring it? Well, the 3 of us bought some to study when we were in the market, but nothing was found through research, so they all stayed in the city. The 3 lures looked at each other, their expressions were a little stunned. "President Jason, I'll send someone back right away to bring 2 bottles." Lures knocked on his head and said angrily, "We were all very worried. We didn't think of okay, you guys come with me. Let's go to Fengshire and take a look." Jason shook his head and said. When he came to Rainbow Towers Market in the North City again, Jason couldn't help but be stunned by the crowded scene and sporadic customers. At a corner not far from the North City of Rainbow Tower, there is a small market of the Boulding family. Looking from a distance, the spacious streets are crowded with people, including some big shirtless men, while shouting loudly, while pushing desperately towards the crowd. Judging from the clothes on these big men and the ferocious expressions on their faces, most of them should be adventurers who lick blood with their swords. They often fight with spiritual beasts and have an almost paranoid love for healing potions. After all, when going deep into some dangerous places, a good bottle of healing potion may be able to save the life of your companions. In the province of London, which is close to the everlasting mountains, adventurers are the group that consumes the most elixirs. Whoever captures the adventurer market will occupy most of the elixir market in the province. President Jason, the 3 supervisors. Seeing Jason's arrival, Jane, the commander of Fengshire, immediately led a large group of guards and came up respectfully. Since there were no guests, some of the waiters in Fengshire also came up. They all stopped what they were doing and spoke respectfully. Jason saw traces of guilt on the faces of the guards and waiters. Thinking in their minds, it was all their fault for failing to run the Rainbow Tower market well. Okay, no need to be polite, everyone should be busy with their own business. Jason waved his hand, and the 3 lures quickly took out some elixirs from the counter at the back and placed them in front of Jason. "President Jason, these elixirs are all elixirs sold by the Boulding family. These 2 are new elixirs sold by the Boulding family. Their efficacy is weaker than ordinary level healing elixirs, but the price is much lower, attracting a large number of adventurers. Although these 2 elixirs are only the 4th and 5th levels, the 3 of us identified them and couldn't see anything special inside." Speaking of this, the expressions of the 3 sea people were a little embarrassed. The 3 of them were all 6th level masters of elixirs. They could not see the specialness of these 2 kinds of 4th and 5th level elixirs. It was really embarrassing. They had not noticed the preparation. The method is normal, after all, the preparation is an extremely complicated matter, but it is a little unreasonable to fail to see the ingredients of the formula inside. Jason nodded, took the 2 bottles of elixir, examined them carefully for a moment, and then smiled. These 2 elixirs are actually nothing. They just changed the formulas of the 4th level healing elixir and the 5th level healing elixir. They replaced Menuhua and Agave with 2 cheap elixirs, and used special. Although this formula is cheap, it has side effects. If the spiritual master takes it for a long time, it will have a certain impact on his future practice. Jason shook his head and said, originally he thought this was a new elixir from the Boulding family. What kind of surprise would it give him? He didn't expect that it was just such a change that made him unable to help but be disappointed. In the hall, the 3 lures and many staff members were all stunned. For these 2 new types of elixirs, the 3 of lures had been studying for a long time in Feng City, using various methods to detect them. In the end, they still failed to find out the special characteristics of the 2 elixirs. But now Jason only perceives them that way. After a while, he explained the methods of modifying the 2 elixirs, as well as their effects, side effects, etc., which shocked everyone present. To be honest, although lures and others are full of confidence in Jason's strength, they don't know much about Jason's attainments in spiritual medicine. When they thought about it, Jason had such amazing strength at such a young age. When he achieved his strength, he would also give up his attainments in spiritual medicine. After all, both of these aspects require a lot of time and energy. Studying, it's hard to do both. Although not long ago, Jason prepared a bottle of a so-called new 6th level healing potion in front of the Rainbow Tower, but in addition to the special processing of materials, Jason's preparation method was extremely ordinary. I don't see anything clever about it. Now seeing Jason, in just a moment, he could fully perceive and understand the two new medicines that the three of them had worked hard for a long time but could not test and understand. The three of Lures were amazed. In addition to his extraordinary strength, President Jason, his attainments in spiritual medicine cannot be underestimated. At least they are much stronger than the three of them, the three sixth-level senior elixir masters. There is nothing wrong with these two new elixirs. They are just popular now. When everyone discovers the side effects of these two elixirs in the near future, they will not be so popular. Although the price is a little lower, it is not something to be afraid of at all. It's a magical elixir with side effects, and it's such a serious side effect. No matter how effective it is, it won't cause a big storm. Ignoring the shock on everyone's faces, Jason spoke to himself. Indeed, the side effects that can affect the spiritual master's future practice, no matter how cheap the spiritual potion is, adventurers will not take it indiscriminately. After all, this will affect their own lives. There are a large number of substitutes for therapeutic potions. If you are short of money, you can choose some cheaper and slightly less effective therapeutic medicines, but if you spend your whole life just for high treatment, no one is willing to do so. After tasting the last two new types of healing potions, Jason set his sights on some of the remaining elixirs sold by the Boulding family. These are normal therapeutic potions, and the fusion degree of medicinal properties is about 70%. Lures, didn't you say that the treatment potions of the Boulding family are of high quality and have a high degree of medicinal fusion? There is nothing special about this. Jason made a confused sound. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something and couldn't help but frown. Brewers, show me the healing potions sold in our Rainbow Tower. As Rules took out a box of fourth-level healing potions, Jason's brows couldn't help but frowned. Because he discovered that 1/3 of this box of 100 bottles of fourth-level healing potions had a fusion degree of about 70%, another third had a fusion degree of about 60%, and the remaining third one, it was only 50%, which made Jason's face suddenly turn livid. Lures, are you going to sell healing potions of this quality to those adventurers? Jason's expression was a little cold. I won't talk about those healing potions with a 60% medicinal fusion level. These 50% medicinal fusion level, what do you say about the healing potion? Jason looked a little unhappy. In the science of elixirs, there are clear regulations for finished elixirs. The fusion of medicinal properties must be more than 60% to be considered a qualified elixir and meet the standards for sale. But there were so many healing potions with 50% medicinal fusion here, which made Jason a little angry. An elixir with a fusion of 50% medicinal properties does not look much different from an elixir with a fusion of 60% medicinal properties, but in fact, it is fundamentally different. After all, in the definition of elixir science, an elixir with a fusion of 50% medicinal properties is potions are not considered finished products, only semi-finished products. As a true master of elixirs, what Jason hates most is the idea of deceiving consumers by shoddy products. President Jason, you don't know that the overall strength of our Rainbow Tower's elixirs is weaker than that of the Boulding family's elixirs. In addition, our Rainbow Tower's previous policies have led to our Rainbow Tower does not produce many elixirs every year, so these elixirs with 50% medicinal properties can only be put on the counter. After seeing Jason being a little angry, Lure-san, the person, suddenly panicked, and then complained loudly, with a wry smile on his face. This is not the reason for you to sell these 50% medicinal fusion elixirs. Let me tell you, the quality of the Boulding family's elixirs is not very good. How can it attract so many customers? Jason said indifferently. Voice, immediately throw away all these elixirs with 50% medicinal properties. From today on, we will not allow any unqualified bottles of elixirs to appear on the counter of Rainbow Valley Tower. President Jason. Lures and the other two people suddenly spoke anxiously, Although these elixirs with a 50% medicinal fusion degree do not meet the qualified standards, there is no need to throw them away. Instead of doing this, we can lower the price to attract customers. Moreover, in fact, this is not a matter of our Rainbow Tower family. You know, elixirs seem to be extremely rare in the entire continent. Every bottle is extremely important. Many forces will regard these elixirs with a 50% medicinal fusion degree as it is the unspoken rule of the entire industry to sell qualified elixirs. Jason's eyes suddenly turned cold and fell on the faces of the three lures. I don't care what the unspoken rules are, throw them all away. Of course, you can also collect all these elixirs and refine them. As long as they meet the requirements, I will not care. I only ask that from now on, I do not want to see substandard elixirs appear in our rainbow. On the counter of the tower. In fact, Jason has also heard about these so-called unspoken rules in the elixir world. Jason, who hates them deeply, cannot let the elixir masters in the entire continent listen to him, but at least he can still make the decision on the 3/3 of an acre of Rainbow Tower. Seeing Jason's determined expression, the three lures looked at each other and could only nod helplessly. Under Jason's order, a large number of unqualified elixirs were quickly cleared out from the market. Looking at the boxes of elixirs, lures and others felt quite sad. Heavy. There are many elixirs in the Rainbow Tower, which are only between qualified and unqualified elixirs. Originally, there were few elixirs in the Rainbow Tower. Under the attack of the Boulding family, if these elixirs are no longer, if it can't stand up, Rainbow Tower may really be in crisis. Don't worry, I have several formulas here. As long as the quality is guaranteed, it won't matter no matter how many magical potions the Boulding family sells. Jason, who knew what the three lures were worried about, suddenly said. President Jason, is this true? Everyone in the hall looked at Jason in surprise. Jason smiled and was noncommittal. Originally, he had intended to hand over the formulas of several later improved therapeutic potions to the Rainbow Tower to squeeze the Boulding family out of the Rondo province, but he had never been able to take action. Now, the actions of the Boulding family made Jason finally make this decision. Before that, let the Boulding family be proud first. Not long after returning to the Rainbow Tower, Jason wrote 3 elixir formulas and handed them into the hands of the 3 lures. The 3 lures excitedly took the formula handed over by Jason. After seeing the name written in front of the formula, the corners of the mouths of the 3 lures were twitching. The 3rd level super effective treatment potion, the 4th level super effective treatment potion, and the 5th level super effective treatment potion. These are the names of these 3 elixirs. However, when the 3 lures saw the formulas behind the names, their expressions suddenly became serious. Originally, in the minds of the 3 lures, the formula given by Jason should be a modified formula on the original healing potion, but at this moment, the formula on the list in his hand is completely different from the previous healing potion. Some of the elixir ingredients listed above are almost the same as normal healing potions. The most critical thing is that the value of the materials listed on the formulas of these 3 spiritual potions is less than half of the orthodox healing potions of all levels currently circulating on the mainland, and the preparation method is also lower than normal. The treatment potion is simple, but the efficacy is more than double that of the orthodox treatment potion of the same level, which makes the 3 lures feel incredible. But soon, the 3 of them frowned again, because behind these 3 formulas, they all saw one material, super effective water. President Jason, what is this super potent water? The 3 of them asked in confusion. This super effective water is a special material used to prepare these 3 magical potions. It was also set up by me to prevent the formula from being leaked. The ingredients of these 3 different formulas of super effective water are different. I will prepare the 3 types of super effective water. The method will be taught to the 3 of you separately. The 3 of you will personally prepare the super effective water. Lures, you are responsible for preparing the super effective water for the 5th level super effective healing potion. Darrow, you are responsible for the 4th level super effective healing potion. Superpotent water. Alberta, you are responsible for the superpotent water of the 3rd level superpotent healing potion. The preparation of superpotent water is very easy. With the attainments of the 3 of you, you can concentrate on preparing the amount for 1 hour, which is enough for the workshop. The elixir masters have been preparing it for a long time. After a while, you will each prepare some super effective water, and then distribute the formulas and preparation methods of these 3 elixirs to the workshop, so that everyone in the workshop can. The elixir masters are working hard to prepare the 3 elixirs I gave them. Next, Jason left each of the 3 lures alone and gave each of them away to prepare super effective water. President Jason, are these 3 elixirs really that powerful? The 3 of them said in disbelief. Whether it's that powerful or not, you'll know after you try it. A confident smile appeared on Jason's face. After Jason's affirmative answer, the 3 lures were completely busy. The 3 of them returned to their respective laboratories and prepared a super effective water formula based on the super effective water formula that Jason privately taught them. A dose of ultra-potent water. Immediately, they each prepared a bottle of super effective healing potion based on the formula given by Jason, wanting to verify whether the effect was as amazing as Jason said. The result surprised all 3 of them. This super effective healing potion, which was made from several low-priced materials, was exactly as Jason introduced to them. It was about twice as effective as the same level healing potion. The expressions of the 3 of them were dull. Next, in order to verify the confidentiality, the 3 of them analyzed the ingredients of the elixir they prepared. The result shocked them even more. They didn't know why. With their 6th level senior elixir master's strength, they couldn't even analyze the ingredients in this super effective healing potion. If they hadn't prepared it themselves, they would hardly believe their eyes. What they didn't know was that these 3 treatment potions were a new generation of treatment potions after the great development of spiritual medicine in later generations about 300 years later. Jason had taken them out in advance at this moment. In fact, Jason still had a few more potions. A more powerful, lower cost, and easier to prepare elixir formula, but in order not to be too shocking, it was not presented. There was no super effective water in the original formula, but Frank of the Boulding family was, after all, a 7th level low-level elixir master. In order to prevent the formula from being leaked, Jason combined the characteristics of these healing potions and mixed them. Several materials were combined through special means to form super effective water, which was taught to the 3 lures to mask the ingredients of the formula itself. In this way, even if some elixir masters in the workshop betrayed the Rainbow Tower and handed over the formula to the Boulding family, there would be no super water formula. Even Frank, as a 7th level low-level elixir master, would not be able to develop these methods for preparing super effective therapeutic agents. After verifying the efficacy of the super effective therapeutic potion, the 3 lures, who were excited, completely fell into madness. They worked hard in their respective laboratories for a whole day before walking out of the laboratory. A moment later, when the 3 of them appeared in Jason's office, Jason was shocked by their embarrassed appearance. Vague steps, pale complexion, bloodshot eyes, body exuding a strong aura of elixir. The continuous preparation made the 3 lures look extremely sloppy, but their eyes were extremely excited, full of admiration and respect for Jason. President Jason, we can go to the workshop now. We have prepared a lot of super effective water. The 3 people said hoarsely, with excited expressions. Behind them, there were large buckets of each. The same grade of super effective water. This is the result of their entire day's work. Jason nodded. He just handed the formula to lures and the others. As for the details, the 3 of them had to do it themselves. Jason didn't want to do everything by himself. Seeing the 3 lures rushing out of the office with a large amount of super effective water, Jason couldn't help but smile. It seems that the Rainbow Tower has been bullied too much by the Boulding family these days, so these 3 people are eager to take revenge. The atmosphere in the Rainbow Tower workshop has been a bit volatile these past few days. Because Jason's new standards were introduced a few days ago, the turbulent preparation phenomenon has now disappeared. Except for Emmett, the elixir masters who are truly loyal to the Rainbow Tower, they are still working hard to prepare the ingredients every day. The status of other elixir masters, they are all in a trance. As elixirs, although most people spend their days in the laboratory and almost never go out, it does not mean that they are isolated from the world. The Boulding family sold out elixirs and almost occupied the entire elixir market in the province of Toronto. Rainbow Tower City was retreating steadily, without the slightest resistance. The sales in one day were even greater than the Boulding family's sales in an hour. None of them can compare. The three top managers of Rainbow Towers are worried every day. The new president Jason is furious with the three top managers in Beiqingfang City. These news are delivered to Rainbow through various channels every day in the Tower Workshop. Rainbow Tower is coming to an end. This is the sentence that the elixir masters in most workshops have heard the most recently. Although this is the workshop of the Rainbow Tower and there are no special signs yet, the somewhat restless atmosphere and floating hearts have made many people they were all hesitant to leave. Many elixir masters gathered in the hall, and they no longer had the same enthusiasm as in the previous few days. Bang! At this moment, a huge roar suddenly sounded in the Rainbow Tower Workshop. All the elixir masters in the hall looked in shock, and saw that the door of the workshop was suddenly kicked open. Lures, Dalit, and Alberta, the three managers of the Rainbow Tower, rushed in from outside the workshop. Lures shouted loudly as soon as he walked into the workshop. He, a high-level Imperial spiritual master, roared, and the entire specially built hall of the workshop shook with the roar. Stand up. Several stewards in the workshop were very discerning and panicked and rang the emergency call bell leading to each laboratory. The laboratory in the workshop is a specially designed soundproof room. If Lures, a high-level Imperial spiritual master, is allowed to shout, those elixir masters who prepare elixirs in the laboratory may be alarmed, but some low-level elixir masters in the hall may be alarmed. The elixir master was probably shocked to death by Lures' roar. As the emergency call bell rang, each of the elixirs came out of the laboratory with doubts on their faces. The elixirs who had gathered in the hall had even more panicked expressions. Seeing Lure's previous expression, they were in a hurry and didn't know what was going on. Has the Rainbow Tower been breached by the Boulding family? Are we going to disband? Some unfounded elixir masters even came up with such an idea. At the sound of the emergency call bell, all the elixirs gathered in the hall again and looked at the front of the hall. The three Lures had ferocious expressions. For a moment, the atmosphere in the hall was a little commotion. Quiet! Lures shouted coldly after seeing everyone arrived. There was sudden silence in the hall. Everyone, from today on, stop all the work you are doing. Our Rainbow Tower has a special mission. Lures shouted coldly and shook the prescription in his hand. There are three kinds of elixirs here. Formulas, 3rd level super effective healing potions, 4th level super effective healing potions, and 5th level super effective healing potions. From now on, all 3rd level elixirs will prepare 3rd level super effective healing potions under the guidance of Director Alberta. All 4th level elixir masters prepare 4th level super effective healing elixirs under the guidance of Director Derote. All 5th level elixir masters prepare 5th level super effective healing elixirs under my guidance, and 6th level elixirs, respected master, prepare normal 6th level healing potions, and elixir masters below 3rd level will prepare low level elixirs. 10 days, a full 10 days. In the next 10 days, everyone's food, drink and everything must be done in the workshop. No one is allowed to step out of the workshop. I am asked to work overtime. Everyone has targets and tasks. This is mandatory and there is no room for negotiation. Now, any elixir master who has different opinions on what I said above or who no longer wants to stay in Rainbow Tower and wants to resign, please stand up to me. Lure's eyes passed over the faces of all the alchemists present, like a sharp knife cutting through everyone's face. After Lures finished speaking, there was a burst of noise in the hall. Everyone was carefully appreciating Lure's previous words, causing a commotion. After discussing for a while, several of the elixir masters wanted to speak out. However, before they could speak, they were interrupted by Lures. Okay, no one said anything. It seems that everyone has no objections and doesn't want to leave the Rainbow Tower. Very good. I have to say that your decision is very wise. So from now on, everyone should shut up. Obey the arrangement without any objections. Your task is to keep preparing the elixir for me that we will teach you later. Anyone who dares to disobey the order is betraying the Rainbow Tower. The fate of Niobe before was his set an example. Lure spoke very quickly, giving no time for anyone to react. He gave the order directly, causing many elixir masters who had wanted to speak before to choke up and become sick. Director Lures, one of the elixir masters, dared to speak out, but before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by Lures. What? Do you have any objections? Why didn't you say anything just now? What did I just say? Do you want to disobey the orders of the Rainbow Tower and imitate Niobe? Lures's eyes showed a cold light, with murderous intent. The momentum is compelling. Lure's move was quite arrogant and resolute. He understood that at this special critical moment, he had to do this in order to shake up the situation. Otherwise, let them put forward their opinions one by one. You ask and I say, there is no need to do anything. The spiritual medicine master's face suddenly turned pale. He immediately closed his mouth and stopped talking. Not only him, but many elixir masters present also stopped their commotion. They didn't know what elixir director Lures asked them to prepare, but the astonishing coercion and pressure emanating from Lure's body, the murderous intent, prevented them from making any move. In just 10 days, let's see what Director Lures and the others want to do. This is what many elixir masters are thinking. Very good. Next, all the 3rd level elixir masters will come to Supervisor Alberta, all the 4th level elixir masters will come to Supervisor Lot, and all the 5th level elixir masters will come to me. Jijia. Lures's eyes flashed and he issued the order. All the elixir masters in the workshop immediately started to make vigorous preparations. Many elixir masters in the workshop were still dissatisfied with the big operation launched by Lures at the beginning. However, after they prepared the super effective healing potion taught by the 3 supervisors, the entire Rainbow Tower workshop it boiled all of a sudden. The simple preparation method, powerful effect, and low-cost materials surprised all the elixir masters and shocked them beyond compare. Generally speaking, when a 3rd level low-level elixir prepares a bottle of normal 3rd level healing potion, the success rate is about 30 to 40%, depending on the proficiency, and the fusion degree of the successfully prepared medicine is about 60%. A 3rd level intermediate elixir prepares a normal 3rd level healing potion. Depending on the proficiency, the success rate is about 60%, and the fusion degree of the medicinal properties is about 70%. When a 3rd level senior elixir prepares normal 3rd level healing potions, the success rate can be basically maintained at about 80%, and the fusion degree of the medicinal properties is also at 80%. But the 3rd level super effective healing potion taught by Director Alberta is different. The simple preparation method allows even the 3rd level low-level elixir master to maintain a success rate of 90%. Except for special circumstances, basically, the preparation is 100% successful, and the fusion of medicinal properties can reach 80%. As for the intermediate and advanced elixir masters, it is even more exaggerated. Except for the rare chance of accidentally mixing a bad bottle, the preparation success rate is almost 100%, and even more so. Being able to maintain the fusion of medicinal properties at 90% shocked everyone. This phenomenon also happens to the 4th level elixir master who prepares the 4th level super effective healing potion and the 5th level elixir master who prepares the 5th level super effective healing potion. Everyone in the workshop was shocked. Although these elixir masters did not know where Director Lures got this formula from, some of the more sensitive elixir masters understood that this was an innovation in the elixir world. With simple preparation methods, powerful effects, and low-cost materials, these 3 super-effective therapeutic potions will break the current system of low and mid-level therapeutic potions in the elixir world and create a new era. In Stern Continent, elixir masters are an extremely noble profession, and those who can become elixir masters are basically idiots. However, after the successful preparation of these 3 elixir potions, all the elixir masters in the workshop understood that, with these 3 elixirs, as long as the prescriptions are not leaked and the technology is not stolen by other forces, the Rainbow Tower will remain invincible. No matter how many elixirs the Boulding family has, it will not matter. It may be worth the crushing of these 3 super-effective potions. In the beginning, many of the elixir masters in the workshop were dissatisfied with Lure's forced decision, and they only treated the preparation as if the task was completed. But now, they all feel as if they have taken aphrodisiacs. The non-stop preparation unleashed the most powerful power. Because they will witness the strong rise of a peak force, and they will be the heroes of the Rainbow Tower. No one can resist such a temptation, working day and night to prepare the elixir in the Rainbow Tower workshop. This terrifying rate is growing at an alarming rate. While the magical elixirs were piling up in the Rainbow Tower workshop, although the Rainbow Tower did not make any public announcement on the surface, secretly, it had begun to prepare intensively for a counterattack against the Boulding family. In the workshop, all the elixir masters were confined inside to make preparations. Except for the 3 supervisors of Lures, no one could communicate with the outside world. Even the guards outside the workshop were strictly closed. The password is being monitored, and you cannot communicate with the elixir masters in the workshop, nor can you go out, otherwise you will be punished by the Rainbow Tower. As the Rainbow Tower has fallen silent these days, the Boulding family has become more and more arrogant in their behavior, using all kinds of tactics without scruples to bring all the major forces in the Rondo province under their control. One party. In fact, in the Rondo province, although some scattered adventurers are numerous in number, they can only occupy at most half of the elixir market, while the other half is occupied by major forces. After all, although there are a large number of scattered adventurers, they are not rich economically. They have to be frugal to buy a bottle of elixir. However, the big forces are different. They are rich and wealthy and are willing to buy elixirs for their subordinates, especially some nourishing elixirs. A force that leads a large adventure group and likes to open up wasteland and never fall into mountains, its actions are even more astonishing. In the past, these forces were equally divided between the Rainbow Tower and the Boulding family, but now, the Boulding family has taken the initiative of those forces that had good relations with the Rainbow Tower in the past. The wooing begins. In this regard, Rainbow Tower remained silent. Seeing the weak and silent behavior of Rainbow Tower, some small forces on the same front began to become disappointed, and secretly, they also quietly prepared some wise and self-protective actions. It is now the 15th day since the Boulding family started selling the elixir, and half a month has passed quietly. It was another bright day with the sun shining brightly. Everything was the same as before. However, the originally empty Rainbow Tower Beiqingfang city suddenly became lively, with a large number of heavily armed guards pulling a large cart. A large car of things drove into Beiqingfang city in the Rainbow Tower. This move immediately attracted the attention of some forces concerned about the Rainbow Tower. Immediately, bottles of brand new elixirs were placed on the counter of the Rainbow Tower, replacing the ordinary healing potions originally placed there. Rainbow Tower's actions were not big, and there was no enthusiastic publicity. They just opened a booth to display new medicines outside Fengshe, as well as some free trial medicine samples. The deserted scene continued until an adventure group that was about to go to the Boulding family market to buy healing potions accidentally passed by the Beiqing city of the Rainbow Valley Tower. One of the adventurers unexpectedly discovered something that the Rainbow Tower had never had before. At the novelty exhibition stand, with the attitude of giving it a try, the leader of the adventure group led many members and slowly walked towards the exhibition stand in front of the Boulding family's market. It was still as popular as it was some time ago. In order to completely complete the exhibition, after the Rainbow Tower collapsed, the Boulding family threw out a large number of high-quality elixirs that had been in stock for a long time, and gave them a huge discount on the price. Because they don't know when this promotion of the Boulding family will end, some scattered adventurers will come to buy healing potions as long as they have spare money. This leads to the fact that half a month has passed and Boulding the family's various shops are still as popular as they were some time ago. The streets are crowded with people, and there are even more people in front of the counters of the treatment potions. Behind the counter of the treatment potion, Brada of the Boulding family was looking at the lively crowd in front of her with a pained expression. In order to completely destroy the Rainbow Tower, the Boulding family not only threw out high-quality elixirs, but also lowered the price. As a result, the price earned by the Boulding family for each bottle of elixirs actually dropped significantly compared with the past. Just one bottle made Brada's heart hurt. After all, these are money. Of course, the Boulding family is still making profits, but the share of profits has shrunk significantly. Sometimes, Brada really wants to put away all these elixirs. After all, when they are usually sold, the prices are much higher. But even a person like Brada, who is not very far-sighted, knows that at this time investment is necessary to capture the market share first. After the Rainbow Tower is completely squeezed out, the elixirs in the entire province of London will be monopolized by the family. By then, the family can set whatever price they want. The current losses will be doubled from these adventurers. Thinking of the beauty of that time, Brada couldn't help but reveal a proud smile. At this moment, he strangely discovered that there was an inexplicable commotion in the sales hall. Several adventurers with gorgeous adventure group badges on their clothes, with anxious expressions on their faces, continued to squeeze from outside the hall to the front of the hall. Wherever they went, the adventurers were pushed to the point of being turned upside down and cursed. However, after seeing the badges on those adventurers, the scattered adventurers shut their mouths. Although the adventure group these adventurers belong to does not belong to the major forces in the Rondo province, it is one of the most prestigious scattered adventure groups. Naturally, some ordinary adventurers do not dare to curse. The adventurers quickly came to the counter. In front of the counter, the boss of the adventure group was buying elixirs in large quantities. The sales staff of the Boulding family were constantly moving bottles of elixirs onto the counter. When the boss of the adventure group was about to pay, but he was stopped by the adventurers who arrived, and then he whispered something in the boss's ear. Several other adventurers around him faintly heard words such as Rainbow Mix, New Spirit Potion, and Super Healing Potion. The face of the leader of the adventure group changed sharply, and then he didn't even look at the densely packed healing potions on the counter in front of him. With a huff, he led his younger brother to rush out of the market. For the staff of the Boulding family's market behind him, the shouts were ignored, causing a commotion. Master Brada, previously the Earth Dragon Adventure Group, clearly stated that they wanted 50 bottles of 3rd-level healing potions, 30 bottles of 4th-level healing potions, and 10 bottles of 5th-level healing potions, but when we took out the elixir, but the leader of the Earth Dragon Adventure Group ran away alone. A staff member hurriedly came to Brada and reported. Block him, block the Earth Dragon Adventure Group. From now on, the Earth Dragon Adventure Group will come to our Boulding family's market to buy elixirs, and they will not sell them. Brada, who saw the previous scene, said fiercely, "How dare you tease me? Our Boulding family, ban him, he won't buy it, and some people will buy it." However, before Brada could finish his words, the hall suddenly became commotion again, and some adventurers suddenly ran in from outside, and then a message is passed between relatives and friends. The Tower of Rainbow has launched the latest super effective healing potion, which is more than twice as effective as the Boulding family's healing potion. It can heal some ordinary wounds instantly, but the price is only a little more expensive. It is also released in limited quantities. Rainbow, the sales in Zeta Baichingfang City are crazy. You guys are still staying here like idiots. If you don't hurry up, you will be late and there won't even be empty bottles. As this information was passed on, and some well-informed people with the evacuation of the large adventure group, many scattered adventurers were also panicked. Looking at the figure who rushed out of the Boulding family market, all the people in the market, after being slightly sluggish, rushed out one after another. Such a grand scene suddenly made some people who had no idea what was happening. The other adventurers also rushed out together. A moment later, the Boulding family's market, which had been bustling with people before, was in a mess. The crowded crowd almost became empty in the blink of an eye, leaving only Brada and the Boulding family with dull expressions and unclear expressions. Lots of staff. The counterattack of Rainbow Tower has begun. The decision of several major forces on the palace of the city lord of Yuling City. Iolos was looking at a piece of information in his hand, lost in thought. This is the detailed situation about the Rainbow Tower and the Boulding family market in Yuling City in the past half-month. If an ordinary big force wants to obtain this information, I am afraid that it can only have a rough understanding through careful inquiry, observation, etc., but as the governor of the province of Toronto and the lord of Yuling City, it is much easier for Iolos to obtain this information. The situation in the Rainbow Tower is not optimistic. This was the first thought when the Lord of Iolos saw the information in his hand. In the past half-month, the Boulding family's elixir selling behavior almost attracted the entire province of Londo. All scattered adventurers, as well as small and medium-sized forces. Even some large forces that had good relations with the Rainbow Tower in the past and often purchased elixirs from the Rainbow Tower at low prices could no longer sit still. No one can resist such doubts: better quality elixir, cheaper price, and more importantly, the attitude of Rainbow Tower. Ever since the Boulding family sold off a large number of high-quality elixirs, the Rainbow Tower had not responded at all. Not only did it not confront the Boulding family, even some of the elixirs originally in the market were removed from the shelves and disappeared, looking lifeless. In the past half-month, the Boulding family has continuously occupied the elixir market in the Rondo province. The market that was originally divided from the Rainbow Tower suddenly became an 82 situation, with the Boulding family monopolizing 80%. This is what Iolos doesn't want to see. As the official ruler of the empire, Iolos has no likes or dislikes for the Boulding family in the empire and the Rainbow Tower, which belongs to foreign forces. What he needs is a prosperous and stable province of London, but now, the actions of the Erding family violated the principles in his heart. 80% of the market share, this is an extremely huge number, and the Boulding family is still expanding, trying its best to win over some hesitant forces who have not decided. It can be foreseen that 1 month later, no, maybe half a month later, the Rainbow Tower will be completely squeezed out of the province of London. At that time, the elixir market in the entire province of London will be monopolized by the Boulding family. The Lord of Iolos is not happy to see one company dominate the market. To be honest, if one family really wants to dominate the elixir market in the Rondo province, the Lord of Iolos would rather monopolize the Rainbow Tower. After all, the Rainbow Tower is a foreign force and has an agreement with the Empire. Even if it becomes a monopoly, it will not go too far. However, the Boulding family is different. They have continued to invade and become more and more arrogant over the years. Iolos understands deeply, once the market for elixirs is monopolized by the Boulding family, the greedy Boulding family will do anything. By then, the major forces in the province of London who need elixirs will have a difficult time. But the Lord of Iolos City is helpless. Although he is the governor of the province of London, he has no say in the elixir. Even if he wants to save the city, he is powerless. He can only rely on the Rainbow Tower itself. But for some reason, Iolos had an inexplicable feeling when he thought of Jason, the new president of the Rainbow Tower. The Rainbow Tower would never sit back and wait for death. What awaited the Boulding family would be a battle. A ferocious counterattack. Bang! 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 Just as Iolos was thinking in his mind, a series of rapid knocks suddenly came from outside the door. "Lord Iolos, there is a situation in Beijingfang City of Rainbow Tower." An anxious voice sounded outside the door. "Come in." Iolos' brows couldn't help but jump. The door was pushed open, and a guard rushed in, panting a little. "Lord Iolos, this morning, Beijingfang City of the Rainbow Tower started selling 3 new types of spiritual potions, which are 3rd-level super-effective healing potions, the 4th-level super-effective treatment potion, and the 5th-level super-effective treatment potion. The efficacy of these 3 elixirs is more than twice that of the same-level treatment potions. They are almost equivalent to the same-level high-grade treatment potions. However, the price is only less than ordinary low-grade healing potions are a little more expensive, and they are sold in limited quantities. Now Beijingfang City in Rainbow Tower is full of people, and everyone is rushing to grab this super-effective healing potion. The sales are almost crazy." With that he was sent to observe the guards talking endlessly. Sitting on the comfortable Grand Master's chair, the Lord of Iolos showed a smile on his face. "The Tower of Rainbow has finally counterattacked. Perhaps I should buy some of these highly effective elixirs for the many city guards in our Yuling city." After the guards left respectfully, the Lord of Iolos smiled, murmured in his mouth. In the Adventurers Guild, President Mackham stood in the Union's elixir laboratory, looking at the busy old men in front of him. These old men are all the elixir masters of the Adventurer Guild. One of them is a 6th-level intermediate elixir master, and the other 2 are 6th-level low-level elixir masters. At this moment, the 3 people were holding several bottles of elixirs marked with Rainbow Tower labels and numbers, and were doing various inspections. The atmosphere in the laboratory was tense. After a long time, the 3 old men stopped their identification work with sweat on their heads. "Incredible, incredible. Amazing, amazing. Is this really a low-grade healing potion? It's unbelievable. How did the Rainbow Tower develop these 3 super-effective healing potions? This is an innovation in the healing potions in the elixir world. I have finally seen the Elixir Tower, the holy place for all elixir masters on the continent. It's unbelievable." The 3 old men's eyes were full of excitement and they expressed infinite emotion. "How about the 3 of you?" From the side, Mackham couldn't wait to speak. President Mackham. The leader, the 6th-level intermediate elixir master-level old man, suddenly came to his senses and said respectfully, "Incredible, President Mackham, these 3 types of products are sold at Rainbow Tower. Each of the magical potions is more than twice as effective as ordinary therapeutic potions. Compared with ordinary therapeutic potions, the treatment time of this super-effective therapeutic potion is less than half of that of ordinary therapeutic potions. For some people who are not serious, minor injuries can be cured instantly, and the most important thing is that it can also have a certain effect on serious injuries that are unable to be cured by some ordinary treatment drugs." The old man's withered and yellow hair was flying, his expression was excited, and he spoke excitedly. "Master Yike, according to what you said, if our Adventurers Guild purchases spiritual potions, should we purchase ordinary high-quality healing potions from the Bolding family at a low price, or purchase the super-effective treatment from the Rainbow Tower at a high price?" "Potion?" President Mackham asked. Because in Mackham's impression, the high-quality treatment potions in the past were completely sufficient. "I wonder if it is necessary to buy the super-effective treatment potions at a higher price. After all, among the major forces in the Rondo province, they have a large number of the Adventurer Guild of Adventurers is the force that consumes the most healing potions in the province of London every year, so it naturally needs to be careful with its budget." "You still need to ask?" "Of course I want to buy the super-effective healing potion from the Rainbow Tower." The old man's eyes widened and he shouted excitedly. The spittle almost splashed onto Mackham's face. "Mackham, President Moo, this is an innovation in the elixir world, an innovation." Seeing Mackham's confused look, Ike only then remembered that President Mackham didn't know much about elixirs. He calmed down and explained excitedly, "President Mackham, you don't understand this super thing. The meaning of effective therapeutic potion, although its efficacy is only twice that of ordinary therapeutic potion, but the concept of ordinary therapeutic potion is completely different. There may be no difference in some minor injuries, but in some major injuries, there is an essential difference between the two kinds of potions. For example, if an adventurer is seriously injured, it cannot be treated with ordinary healing potions, but with super effective healing potions, a life can be saved. With this kind of the effective treatment potion is enough to more than double the survival probability of all adventurers in our guild in the wild, and it can save lives. Our adventurer guild will have a large number of adventurers die in the everlasting mountains next year. With this super effect healing potions, and I dare not say anything else, at least the number of deaths will be reduced to less than half of the past. As a result, our adventurer guild will save an unknown amount of annual death benefits alone. And the price set by the Rainbow Tower is not high at all. In my opinion, even if the price is increased by half, I still have to buy this super effective healing potion. Master Yik stared at his eyes, with wrinkles and dry hands. He waved vigorously to express his excitement, as if the old man would fight him desperately if Mackham didn't buy this super effective healing potion. Mackham couldn't help but secretly nod. What Ike said about reducing the mortality rate made Mackham feel quite moved. The Adventurers Guild has several large adventure groups. Every year, when hunting spiritual beasts or clearing wasteland in the Everfall Mountains, a large number of members will be killed or injured. The annual pension is a huge expenditure. If the mortality rate can be reduced, it will save a lot of money, and also save the expenses required to recruit new members, which is extremely cost-effective. But subconsciously, Mike Ham turned his questioning gaze behind Master Ike. Behind Master Yike, the other two 6th-level low-level elixir masters from the Adventurers Guild also had their eyes flashing and their lips trembling. When they saw Mackham's eyes falling on him, they all nodded eagerly, indicating to them inner excitement. Okay, I will contact the Rainbow Tower immediately and purchase this super effective healing potion in large quantities. At this moment, President Mackham finally made up his mind. At the same time, some other forces in Yuling City are also repeating this scene, the sizzling continuation of the Bolding family mansion. The atmosphere in the brightly lit hall was oppressive and dull. On the table in the center of the hall, there are 3 bottles of elixir, exuding a fresh medicinal fragrance. There were many people sitting in the hall. Judging from their clothes, it was obvious that they were all important members of the Bolding family. The leader of the Bolding family, Mo Sibin, was sitting in the hall with a gloomy face. On the chair of the Grand Master, the atmosphere was so dull that one almost felt suffocated, like the calm before the storm. This is some super effective healing potion produced by the Rainbow Tower. Now the popularity in our city has begun to plummet. In the hall, the leader of Mo Sibin said coldly with a gloomy face. Father, we have sent people to carefully test this super effective healing potion. It is indeed more effective than our family's same-level healing potion. Today, the transaction volume in our Bolding family's market dropped sharply by 7%. Okay. Brada said fiercely, with a hint of fierceness between her brows. Master Patriarch, due to the influence of this super effective healing potion, some forces that were originally going to turn to our Bolding family have rejected our invitation to cooperate, and there are even some forces that have already cooperated with our Bolding family. Their attitude was also ambiguous, and they unilaterally terminated the agreement. A member responsible for contacting other forces on behalf of the Bolding family spoke out. I don't know how the Rainbow Tower suddenly had this new type of healing potion. Before this, we didn't receive any news at all. Even the few elixirs sent by our family in the Rainbow Tower workshop didn't know anything about it. No news was conveyed. An old man also frowned. Damn, it's really damnable. If this continues, the great situation that our Bolding family has finally formed will be ruined. One day, only one day. Many people in the hall gritted their teeth. The Rainbow Tower's move is really ruthless, but it's okay. If the Rainbow Tower were to focus on the quality and price of the elixir, it might not necessarily win or lose, but it chose to throw out some new elixir. Don't he know? Our Bolding family has Master Frank, the #1 elixir in the province of Toronto. An old man with grey beard and hair showed no worries on his face and spoke easily. Indeed, Master Frank is currently studying these 3 elixirs in the laboratory. With the strength of Master Frank's 7th level low-level elixir master, it is really too great to develop these 3 3rd, 4th and 5th level elixirs. It couldn't be easier. When the time comes, the Rainbow Tower will be finished. The number and strength of our Bolding family's elixir masters will exceed that of the Rainbow Tower. The Rainbow Tower is trapped in a cocoon. Once Master Frank gives the prescription, after researching it, the elixir masters in our family have also started to prepare such elixir, and the Rainbow Tower will be dumbfounded by then. Haha. Everyone in the hall laughed, and the originally depressing atmosphere was immediately lifted. More than half. At this moment, the door to the hall was pushed open, and Frank, who everyone had been talking about earlier, walked in from the door with a gloomy face. "Frank, how's it going?" Patriarch Mo-Sibin couldn't wait to ask, and the whole hall suddenly fell silent, and everyone focused on Frank. Feeling the gazes of everyone around him, Frank's face was livid and he shook his head silently. "Frank, are the materials for preparing those 3 elixirs very special? Are they expensive?" Patriarch Mo-Sibin couldn't help frowning, and then gritted his teeth and said, "Frank, stop hiding it, regardless of the materials. How special it is, and how expensive it is. At this time, we have no choice but to go ahead and tell you what materials are needed." In the hall, Frank couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth twice, and hesitated for a moment. A little he said unspeakably, "Clan Chief Mo-Sibin, it's not that the materials are special, it's that those 3 elixirs are too weird. I can't analyze any of the materials at this point." Frank suddenly closed his eyes. I got into my mouth and couldn't say any more. "What? Master Frank, these 3 elixirs are only 3rd level, 4th level, and 5th level elixirs. You are the 7th level elixir master and the #1 elixir master in our province of Toronto. How can you not analyze it? Come out in the hall," some members couldn't help but exclaimed. Frank's livid face suddenly turned red, and he said angrily, "These 3 elixirs are so powerful, they must have been brought by Jason from the elixir tower. If they can be easily cracked, then the elixir tower is in vain. This is the holy land for spiritual medicine masters in the mainland. What should we do?" Some members in the hall looked shocked and lost their voices. "Frank, is there really nothing you can do?" Mo-Sibin said in a low voice at the front of the hall. "I have tried all the methods. At least with my current strength, there is no way." Speaking of this, Frank was also a little shy to speak out. He, a 7th level low-level elixir master, even drank several bottles of elixir. There is no way to use the formula of the spirit potion. If it is revealed, I am afraid that the reputation will be ruined. In the hall, everyone looked at each other, not knowing what to say. The current plan is to withstand the impact of the Rainbow Tower. The only way is to lower the price of our spiritual medicine. After a while, the leader of Mo-Sibin said helplessly, "Lower the price? Father, how is this possible? The price of the elixir in our market is already extremely low. If it is lowered further, our family's profits may not be guaranteed." Brada couldn't help but speak out. "You know, although the material cost of any bottle of elixir is not too expensive, when it is sold, it includes the workmanship of the elixir. The Bolding family has so many elixirs, and the annual expense is an extremely huge amount. If the price drops further, although the Bolding family may not lose money, the profit will be basically pitiful. Besides lowering the price, what else can we do? Let's wait first. I don't believe that the Rainbow Tower keeps the formula secret so strictly. I just need to wait for the few elixirs arranged by our family in the Rainbow Tower to reveal the formula. Once you do it, everything will be easier to handle." Mo-Sibin said coldly, but his face was full of helplessness. Everyone in the hall was silent. The Boulding family had been developing smoothly over the years, but this was the first time they were in a dilemma. Patriarch Mo Sibin held the armrests of the chair with both hands, feeling an inexplicable regret rising in his heart. He should not have messed with the Rainbow Tower for the Shadow Valley in the first place. Compared to the repressive atmosphere of the Boulding family, the Rainbow Tower and the tower, there was a celebration at the moment. The emergence of super-effective healing potions was almost like a tsunami, sweeping through the entire Yuling city in an instant. With lightning speed, it quickly reversed the disadvantage of Rainbow Tower and made Rainbow Tower even more popular in the city. In just one day, he returned to his peak. After the Rainbow Tower launched a counterattack, the Boulding family once again lowered the price of treatment potions, almost approaching the limit of what they could bear. However, the results were minimal, and the popularity of the Boulding family in the market did not rebound much. However, the market in Rainbow Tower is always bustling with people and bustling. The queues for buying elixirs every day form a long queue, spreading to the outside of the street, and even blocking the traffic. A few guards were simply not enough, so the Lord of Iolos had to send a large group of city guards to maintain order in the Rainbow Tower. This effect is also due to Jason's pricing and sales strategies. At the beginning, before preparing to launch the super-effective treatment potion, Lures and the others specifically sought Jason's opinion. In their original plan, Lures and the others planned to launch all the super-effective treatment potions prepared in the past 10 days. And sold it at a price similar to that of the Boulding family's healing potions, quickly seizing the market, but Jason vetoed it all at once. Jason, who has great confidence in super-effective therapeutic agents, requires that the price of super-effective therapeutic agents should not be lower than the price of normal high-quality therapeutic agents in mainland China, and the supply will not be opened up, but will be supplied in limited quantities, and only a certain amount will be sold every day. The three Lures did not understand this policy at first, but when the super-effective treatment potion was actually launched, the condition of limited supply caused a storm that no one expected. Because of the amazing efficacy of the super-effective healing potion, it suddenly became a well-known product in the entire province of Toronto. Due to the requirement of limited supply, the number of products sold every day was limited, which led to many people wanting to buy it, but they found it. There is a priceless and marketless situation in no place. As the myth of the efficacy of super-effective healing potions became more and more popular among adventurers, many adventurers spent a lot of money just to buy a bottle of super-effective healing potions. As a result, the province of Toronto gave birth to a kind of historical medicine. An unprecedented profession, scalpers. These scalpers are basically members of some underground forces in the Toronto province. They pretend to be adventurers and line up outside Rainbow Tower City all night long. After purchasing super-effective healing potions, they then resell them to others at high prices and gain huge profits. The emergence of scalpers has directly raised the price of super-effective therapeutic potions. In the underground black market in Toronto, super-effective therapeutic potions have even become the most popular items. Once they appear, they will be sold out instantly, and in the black market the price has even climbed to more than double the sales price of Rainbow Tower. Such an astonishing price did not deter the adventurers. Instead, it only exacerbated the popularity of super-effective healing potions, making them hard to find. It is said that the first adventure group to enter Rainbow Tower City, because the leader generously purchased a batch of super-effective healing potions, the adventure group later made a fortune and made countless people jealous. In order to stabilize the price and market of super-effective therapeutic potions, Rainbow Tower launched a series of actions to crack down on scalpers. Under Rainbow Tower's thunderous methods, the scalpers disappeared, but the forces in some other cities in the Rondo province, they also rushed to Yuling City one after another and started a hot buying spree. Compared to ordinary adventurers, a bottle of super-effective healing potion is even more difficult to find. In less than half a month after the effective treatment potion came out, the Rainbow Tower rose to the top and captured 80% of the potion market in Yuling City. The huge profits made the Rainbow Tower completely suppressed the Boulding family, and they could only survive. In just half a month, due to the limited edition policy of the Rainbow Tower, the super effective healing potion has become more than just a healing potion for healing injuries. It has completely become the most fashionable thing in the entire province of Toronto. Whether you need it or not, if you have the chance, buy 2 bottles of super effective healing potions. When various forces visit each other, there is nothing more joyful than giving them super effective healing potions. This has always led to a shortage of super effective healing potions. All the elixirs in the Rainbow Tower can only use their full strength to continuously deliver super effective healing potions to the city. In the past half-month, some things happened. The most serious one was the leakage of the super effective treatment potion prescription. When the prescription was first revealed, it caused a sensation throughout Yuling City. The chief elixir masters of all the major forces were doing crazy research, trying to figure out how to prepare the super effective healing potion, but without exception, everyone all disappointed. Because the few elixirs who revealed the prescription only knew the preparation process, but they lacked the most crucial one, the formula of super potent water. In the Rainbow Tower, apart from Jason, only 3 supervisors, lures, each mastered the formula of super effective water, and no one else knew about it. However, several major forces in the Rondo province were unwilling to give in. They continued to research one by one, especially the Boulding family. With Frank, who was known as the #1 elixir in the Rondo province, they almost went crazy in their research. However, the result was that they were disappointed again. Frank, as a 7th-level low-level elixir master, had the finished product of super effective healing potion, knew the preparation method, and knew the scale of any other materials except super effective water. Despite the formula, it was still not possible to copy the formula of the super effective therapeutic potion. Franking's reputation as the #1 elixir in the province of London was unknowable. It also completely stunk. For Rainbow Tower, the leakage of the formula was not entirely a bad thing. Rainbow Tower found out all the more than 10 elixirs deployed by other forces in the workshop and cleaned them up. When lures carried the corpses of more than a dozen elixir masters out of the Rainbow Tower, the entire Yuling City was shocked, but no one made any statement about this. Everyone knows that the current Rainbow Tower is different from the past. When the situation in the province of Toronto changed dramatically in a month, on this day, 2 strange figures suddenly appeared outside Rainbow Tower City. One of them is a thin old man with a gray beard, while the other is a middle-aged man with a resolute face and full of power. The clothes of these 2 people are extremely gorgeous and noble, and from their accents and behavior, it can be seen at a glance that they are from some big families, and they are not local forces in Yuling City. Streep, this is the northern city of the Rainbow Tower. Since entering the province of London, what we have heard the most about is the Rainbow Tower. It is really lively here. Outside the city, the old man looked at the extremely lively market with a faint smile on his face. There was no change on the middle-aged man's face. He just walked out silently from behind the old man and blended into the crowd. A moment later, when the middle-aged man appeared again, he already had a few bottles in his hand. It is an extremely effective healing potion. The old man took the super effective healing potion with great interest and felt it carefully. Then he nodded, yes, it's exactly the same as what we got before. On the side, some adventurers gathered here saw the super effective healing potion in the old man's hand, and their faces showed a light of envy and desire, but from the old man's with the magnanimity he showed so naturally, adventurers who had been fighting against the spirit beast all year round could tell that this old man was not someone to be trifled with. Let's go. Under the envious and fearful eyes of countless adventurers, the old and young people left Fengshire and disappeared at the end of the street. Boulding family mansion. What? What did you say? Chief Mosi said with an angry look on his face gloomy, and a cold breath emanated from his body, making the workshop steward kneeling on the ground tremble with fear. What on earth is going on? The quality and quantity of elixirs have dropped a lot recently. Is there someone who is causing trouble? What do you, the chief steward, do for a living? You can't even handle this? The leader of the Monben clan looked up and spoke angrily, and the terrifying coercion suddenly spread out, like an angry lion. The workshop manager who was kneeling there had a look of fear in his eyes and said tremblingly, Chief Mo Sibin, those elixir masters have been working hard on the brewing process for the past month. They already had a lot of complaints. In addition, they heard that our family also wants to lower their salary. Everyone is making noises about not working. In the past 2 days, the amount of elixirs produced every day has only been half of the usual amount, and the quality has also declined. Many elixirs are clamoring to leave the family. There's nothing I can do about it. Damn it, those elixir masters are really useless. We, Bolding Hanjing, usually treat them like this. When we encounter some problems, we act like this. Damn it, it's really damnable. Mo Enbin was in the hall. Zhong was walking back and forth with a trace of irritation on his face. With the emergence of the Rainbow Tower's super-effective healing potion, the situation of the Bolding family is getting worse day by day. In order to compete with the Rainbow Tower, Mo Sibin can only restrain the family's continuous decline by continuously lowering the price of the family's spiritual potion. Market share, but the price reduction directly resulted in the family's profits shrinking. For this reason, Mo Sibin thought of many ways. The original pestle and the like were hard costs and could not be changed at all. Mo Enbin could only think of ways to deal with the treatment of the elixir masters. However, before he could make a decision, he just discussed it within the family, and no one knew who actually leaked the news, which immediately caused an outburst among many elixir masters in the family workshop. The hard work of preparing the medicine these past few days had already caused these elixir masters to complain. When they heard that the Bolding family was going to lower their treatment, they suddenly exploded like ignited explosives. After feeling the changing situation in the Rondo province, many discerning elixirs left the Bolding family's workshop and went to the Rainbow Tower at this critical moment, while more elixirs inactive and protesting. Mo Si was extremely busy. If ordinary people were causing trouble, Guisibin would have put it down long ago with his temper. However, elixir masters were a special group, and no matter how angry Mo Sibin was, he would have to patiently appease them. Just when Mo Enbin frowned and paced restlessly in the room manager's door was suddenly pushed open. Mo Sibin raised his head a little irritably. After discovering that it was Frank, the chief elixir of the family, he could only suppress the irritation in his heart and said anxiously, Frank, you came just in time. Those bastard elixirs in the family workshop have been making a lot of noise recently. It's really too powerful. You are the chief elixir master of the family, go and mediate it quickly. Frankie ignored Mazabin's words and hurriedly said, Chief Mazabin, please slow down and talk about the workshop first. However, before Frank could finish his words, he was in an irritable mood. Mo Sibin interrupted rudely. Speak more slowly? It's urgent now, why don't you say it later? You are the chief elixir master of our Bolding family. Our Bolding family does not raise you to let you idle around all day long. In the fight against Rainbow Frank, a 7th-level low-level elixir master, did not help at all when it came to the tower. First, the highly toxic potion he prepared was completely destroyed by Jason at the entrance of the Rainbow Tower. Then, as a 7th-level low-level elixir master, even though he, the Medicine King Master, knew the preparation method, he couldn't even make a recipe for a low-level potion of super-potent water, which filled Mo Sibin's heart with anger. But after Mo Sibin Bing finished what he said, he knew in his heart that he had said the wrong thing. After all, Frank was also a 7th-level low-level elixir master, the chief elixir master of the family, and he was not just a casual person. He can scold his subordinates as he pleases. So Mo Enbin's face immediately softened, and he said politely to Frank, Frank, you are the 7th-level elixir master, the chief elixir master of the family, and the #1 elixir master in our province of Toronto. The elixir masters in the family workshop listen to you, so you go and have a good talk with them on behalf of the family. No matter what, coax them first and let them do things for the family. You also know that the family is in difficulty recently and needs help. Your great help. Frank has also been angered by the situation of the Bolding family recently, and his reputation in the Rondo province is not as good as before. Mo Sibin's scolding made him even more angry, but he didn't show anything. He just said calmly, Clan leader Mo Sibin, Master Zymans of the Imperial Academy of Spiritual Medicine Master and his followers are here, and they are outside the door now. What? Master Simmons is here. Quick, quick, let them come in quickly. No, I should go and greet them in person. Mo Sibin was a little dazed, and then he spoke anxiously. Haha, there's no need to bother, Chief Mo Sibin. The old man has already reached his heart. Outside the door, an old man with gray hair and beard walked in with a smile on his face. Behind him, followed a middle-aged man with an indifferent expression. Jami. Mo Sibin's heart skipped a beat and he glanced at Frank, who looked calm on the side. It was obvious that all the words he had scolded Frank before were heard by Master Simmons outside the door. But Mo Sibin is the leader of the clan after all. He had mastered the skill of changing faces, and he immediately let out a loud shout of surprise. Oh, this Master Zymans is really guilty. The boss didn't know that the master was coming, so he failed to greet him personally. It's really yes. Mo Sibin shook his head, with a smile on his face, and greeted him enthusiastically. Behind him, Frank suppressed the embarrassment in his heart and squeezed out a warm smile on his face. The banquet brings a lot of weight to the Bolding family. Mosbon, Frank, Simmons, and the middle-aged men following Simmons all sat as guests of honor. The small table next to the four of them was filled with exquisite snacks, as well as a cup of hot tea with mist rising and a fresh fragrance. Clan Chief Mo Sibin, I received news from Master Frank that the 8th level life essence grass promised to me by your Bolding family has been taken away by others. What is going on? In the hall, after everyone exchanged a few simple greetings, Master Simmons went directly to the topic and set his sights on Mo Sibin. Alas! Mo Sibin couldn't help showing a hint of guilt on his face, and sighed. That's what happened. About a month ago, our Bolding family was in the city of Rainbow Tower. I bought a few bottles of 6th level healing potions. Mo Sibin calmed his thoughts and slowly spoke. Master Zymans, you know, that guard is my son Brada's personal entourage. Guards, my son has always regarded them as brothers. I remember that when my son was young, he was accidentally attacked by a shadow wolf in the everlasting mountains. It was the guard who desperately saved my son. My son Brada was there. When he saw that his guard almost died after taking the elixir sold by the Rainbow Tower, his eyes were red. He was so angry that he immediately took the guard to the market of the Rainbow Tower to seek justice. But that Rainbow Tower was unreasonable. Relying on its strength, it first beat the Ronroni guard of my Bolding family half to death, and then severely injured my son and interrupted all those who followed. Guarding arms. When I got the news, you know, my lungs were about to explode and my heart was trembling. At that time, there was only one thought in my mind. I only have this son. If something happens to him, how can I see his dead mother in the future? Speaking of this, Mo Sibin's fearful eyes flashed with tears, and the anger made people couldn't help but feel sad. So I immediately went to the Rainbow Tower and thought I wanted to find President Jason for comment, but Jason was unreasonable. They sold fake elixirs and injured members of my Bolding family, but they asked us to pay compensation. Naturally, I didn't want to. After learning that our Bolding family was unwilling to compensate, Jason kicked my son's head into the ground without saying a word. My son's head was covered with blood. At that time, my heart is bleeding. I was forced to rescue my son. When I saw that he was just a 7th level senior Imperial spiritual master, I just wanted to push him away and rescue my son, so there was no use. I didn't expect that Jason would seize this opportunity to suddenly attack me. I was not aware of it for a moment, and ended up finding his way. At that time, Jason wanted to kill me, and Iolos happened to when the city lord and the others arrived. I raised the issue of the elixir with the city Lord Iolos and the others. Unexpectedly, Jason said he wanted to prepare it on the spot and I didn't know how he did it. He actually fooled everyone present, even the Lord of Iolos believed each other, but the elixir was personally verified by Master Frank of our family. How could there be any mistake? Not to mention that the guards of our family almost died after taking the poisonous elixir. But I had no choice but to admit defeat. When I was about to pay compensation to redeem my son, Jason Lyon opened his mouth and actually asked our Bolding family to compensate 10 billion, and it must be cash and 7th level, the 8th level spiritual medicine department. At that time, I thought that even if I died, I would still save my poor son. In that case, I had no choice but to agree to Jason's unreasonable request. 10 billion spiritual coins is really an astronomical figure for a small family like our Bolding family. We sold off many family properties, but only got 3.5 billion spiritual coins. I was very conflicted at the beginning, but in the end, there is really no other way. I, MOC, am a man of my word. Even though Jason is so arrogant, I will definitely do what I promised. This is my code of conduct. At this point, MOC Chief Sibin stood up full of guilt and bowed deeply to Master Simons. In that lazy situation, in order to save my son, I had no choice but to give the preparation to Master. Your life essence grass and all the high-quality spiritual medicine stocks collected by our family were given to Jason. Master Simons, I am really sorry. I, MOC, am ashamed of your heart. The eyes of the patriarch of MOC Ben, there were tears flashing in his eyes, and then he showed a trace of determination, but don't worry, Master Simons. Once there is a chance, I, MO7, will try my best to redeem the life essence grass from Jason's hands, give it to you in person. Master MO7 hammered the porridge in the hall with determination. Clan leader MO7 was right. Even though the life essence grass is gone, I still want to express my gratitude to leader MO7. Zymings stood up immediately and said, Master Zymings, don't say that. I, MOC, am really guilty. MO7 shook his head quickly. According to what Patriarch MO7 said, the life essence grass should still be in the hands of President Jason in the Rainbow Tower? Xingxi asked, showing a thoughtful look. That should be the case. MO7 nodded and looked at Master Simons, who was bowing his head in deep thought. A bright light flashed deep in his eyes, but an unknown arc appeared at the corner of his mouth, and then disappeared quietly. Because of the popularity of the super-effective healing potion, Rainbow Tower has been busy lately. Especially the 3 lures, after using up all the super-effective water they prepared for the first time, the 3 of them spent another whole day in seclusion and prepared a large amount of super-effective water. In order to reward the many elixir masters in the workshop for their painstaking preparations these days, the 3 of lures were not only busy selling super-effective healing potions every day, but also guided the many elixir masters in the workshop to solve the problems they encountered. Every elixir master will always encounter more or less problems in the process of learning. Under normal circumstances, they will post the questions to the guild and find answers at a high price. But this efficiency is actually not high because, except for some low-level elixir masters, most of the problems encountered by elixir masters are extremely tricky and weird questions. If such questions want to be answered, the answerer needs to, in addition to having strong knowledge of elixirs, a lot of experiments must be done to prove it. For a powerful elixir, this is actually a loss that outweighs the gain. Therefore, there are very few powerful elixirs who can answer the numerous headaches in the help area of every union. For them, answering a question is too much. The remuneration they receive is not proportional to the amount of work they put in. It is not as good as preparing the elixir by yourself. Therefore, when every elixir master encounters a problem in the process of brewing, he can only solve it by himself, which becomes the biggest obstacle for elixir masters on the road of learning. As 6th level senior elixir masters, lures, and the others can naturally solve many of the problems faced by Lingsu masters. When the 3 asked Jason how to reward the elixir masters in the workshop, Jason asked. That's the idea. As a result, the three lures stepped forward at this extremely busy moment, informed the elixir masters in the workshop about this benefit, and began to collect the information that every elixir master encountered in the learning process. Problems and solve them. This news excited all the elixir masters in the workshop. While the three lures were solving the difficult problem, they were working hard to prepare the elixir. Jason, who gave Charles 3 suggestions, failed to escape Qing Xian in the end and was bypassed. Because there are too many elixir masters in the workshop, and many of them are 5th-level elixir masters, and there are even more than 10 elixir masters. Master Yao Zun's strength left many questions unanswerable, so he had no choice but to ask Jason for help. After sending the question to Jiexia, the three lures were filled with anxiety. After all, Jason is the president of the Rainbow Tower. This kind of thing should not be done by the president at all. Sure enough, after sending the question for less than 2 months, after an hour, the problem was returned to the hands of the three lures. Seeing Jason sending back the question so quickly, the three lures couldn't help but smile bitterly. Thinking that Jason was too lazy to answer, they were about to think of other solutions, but they found that the blank question paper was now densely packed, filled in with answers. After observing each answer word for word, the three lures were completely stunned. These questions cover many aspects. Since they were given to Jason to answer, it is natural that the 3 6th-level senior elixir masters lures, Darrow and Alberta, cannot answer the questions, but only 2 before the time was up. Jason had completely answered dozens of these weird, sharp, and tricky questions, leaving the 3 of lures completely in disbelief. In the next few days, Jason fell into practice again. In practice, Jason once again completely forgot about the time and woke up again, but he was woken up by lures. What? Do you have any more questions for me to answer? Looking at lures at the door, Jason spoke up. President Jason, the steward of the City Lord's mansion, just sent an invitation, inviting our Rainbow Tower to attend a banquet, Lure said respectfully. What banquet? You 3 go, didn't I say I'll leave everything to you? Jason said directly. These days, because of the super effective healing potions, all the major forces in the Rondo province have come to the Rainbow Tower for one purpose. They want to visit Jason and buy super effective healing potions in large quantities. Naturally, Jason was too lazy to take care of such matters, leaving it all to the 3 of lures. As for himself, he was just waiting for the situation to be completely resolved and took some time to leave. President Jason, the Lord of Iolo City, hopes that you can attend, sir. You don't know, sir, that just a few days after the Lunar New Year festival, this is a banquet held every year in our province of Toronto. By then, all the heads of major forces in our province of Toronto will be there, and in the past presidents of our Rainbow Tower were rarely absent, Lures said tactfully. Jason thought for a moment, and suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something, and nodded. Well, let's go there once. When is the banquet? Tomorrow night. Lures showed a smile on his face. The City Lord's mansion in Yiling City is heavily guarded today. There are armored city guards everywhere, all with majestic weapons and sharp expressions. They look like they are facing a formidable enemy. They have blocked off all the streets near the City Lord's mansion and are patrolling back and forth. This is an annual grand banquet in the province of London. It will be held after the Lunar Festival next year. At that time, not only the heads of some powerful forces in Yiling City, but also some powerful leaders from other cities in the entire province of London will come. With such a huge scale, not all of the famous and powerful people in the entire Rondo province, at least more than half, have gathered in the mansion of the Lord of Iolos. With so many powerful people gathered, there is absolutely no problem in terms of safety, but knowing that there will be no problem. After all, Iolos is the governor of the province of Rondo, so the blockade of the streets and the patrolling of the city guards are still indispensable. There were 4 people in the Rainbow Tower attending the banquet, including Jason. Jason brought all 3 of Rules, Derot, and Alberta over. After this banquet, Jason is preparing to temporarily leave the Rondo province and go to the Cheer province. Therefore, it is essential to push lures and the others out. At the same time, Jason is also preparing to give the Rainbow Tower to the Rainbow Tower at this banquet. To build momentum again, be sure to ensure that nothing happens to the Rainbow Tower after you leave. The 4 Jasons arrived not early. Many people had already arrived. You could see groups of people everywhere in the hall, people holding wine glasses, and maids in gorgeous clothes and elegant manners. Like a fluttering butterfly, it shuttled back and forth among the crowd carrying a tray. President Jason. President Jason has arrived. As soon as the 4 Jasons entered the hall, they attracted the attention of some guests in the hall. Now that the Rainbow Tower is in full swing, who in the province of London doesn't want to have a relationship with them? Although Jason rarely shows up, his image has long been spread throughout the Rondo province. As for the 3 rulers who have been in the Rondo province for so many years, they have long been known to everyone. Now they see the 3 rulers. He actually followed a black-haired young man into the hall. How could the people present not guess Jason's identity? Many of the forces present had visited the Rainbow Tower before, but Jason was left in charge of rules. Now that they saw Jason coming in person, how could they hold back? In just the blink of an eye, Jason was surrounded by a crowd of guests. President Jason, Anto of the Dimo family, visited the director of Rainbow Talulus last time, but unfortunately I was not able to meet the president in person. Now that I have met him, he is truly a hero. President Jason. Next, each of the guests was like bees smelling the fragrance of flowers. They all surrounded them in an instant, with great enthusiasm. Jason felt that his head suddenly grew bigger, but these people were all major forces in the province of Toronto. Leader, Jason naturally couldn't refuse, so he started to deal with it one by one. President Jason. At this moment, a cheerful voice came, and Mike Ham and others came over with a smile. Seeing Mike Ham and others, the people who had been surrounding Jason suddenly moved out of the way. Although they were in London, many provinces are also quite famous, but most of them are leaders of small and medium-sized forces. When Jason first came in, he just took the opportunity to say hello to Jason warmly. In terms of identity, they are like Mike Ham. There is still a difference between the real overlords of the Rondo province. Haha, President Mackham. President Delru. Chief Lilu. Jason also laughed, and Wang Hao took the opportunity to step out of the crowd and greet him. The remaining guests naturally understood that Jason's circle was not something they could just join in casually, so everyone turned their heads and focused their attention on the 3 lures behind Jason. Now that the Rainbow Tower has risen, and Jason has completely handed over the management of the super effective healing potion to the 3 of them, the 3 of lures have been very popular in the Rondo province recently. All the guests, with their eyes shining, suddenly rushed forward. A moment later, the 3 lures were completely immersed in the sea of people and were tightly surrounded. President Jason is really amazing. In just 1 month, the Rainbow Tower has become so prosperous. I really envy me. Looking at the 3 lures with smiles on their faces surrounded by countless guests, and Mike Ham, the president of the Adventurers Guild who was sitting on the chair next to Sun, laughed. Jason smiled without saying a word. Mackham did not take it for granted and continued to speak. President Jason, the super effective healing potion recently sold by your Rainbow Tower is really good, but because it was a limited edition, our Adventurer Guild did not buy it last time. Quite a lot, and I heard that President Jason has been in seclusion, so I don't want to disturb you. It just so happened that I met President Jason this time. I wonder if President Jason can sell some more potions to our Adventurer Guild. We also know that there are too many adventurers in our Adventurers Guild, and the demand for potions is also too great. Of course, regarding the price of potions, please rest assured, President Jason, our Adventurers Guild will definitely not let the Rainbow the Tower suffers. President Mackham looked at Jason seriously. Although he had not been in contact with Jason for a long time, Malcolm also saw that Jason was not the kind of person who was polite. It was rare to see Jason once, and he did not go around in circles, straight to the point. Jason smiled and said, "The matter of super-effective healing potions has always been handled by Lures and the others. To be honest, the president, don't know exactly how many super-effective healing potions our Rainbow Tower has. But since President Malcolm spoke, if we at Rainbow Tower don't express our will, we can't get through it. Let's do this. After we go back, President Malcolm will ask your people to contact Lures and the others. As long as we at Rainbow Tower can bring it out, I will definitely not hide it from President Fong Kiem." The last time the Boulding family's Mo Sibin clan came to the entrance of the Rainbow Tower, President Malcolm actually helped a little, and this request, Jason will naturally be satisfied. What's more, super-effective healing potions are sold after they are prepared, and the Adventurers Guild is the force that consumes the most spiritual potions in the Rondo province. Even if the Adventurers Guild doesn't come to find it, the Rainbow Tower will sell it. This is a big customer. Haha, then here, I would like to thank President Jason first. If President Jason needs anything in the future, just ask him. As long as our Adventurers Guild can handle it, the Adventurers Guild, will never refuse, When President Malcolm heard what Jason said, a smile suddenly appeared on his face. Speaking of this, President Malcolm, our Rainbow Tower really needs President Malcolm's help for something. Jason suddenly spoke out, looking at Malcolm with twinkling eyes. Oh? I wonder what President Jason is talking about. Just ask, if our Adventurers Guild can do it, Malcolm, will never hesitate. Malcolm spoke boldly. Jason smiled. President Malcolm, in our province of Toronto, although all the major forces have sources of elixir materials, those who truly have a place rich in elixirs, apart from our Rainbow Tower and the Boulding family, there is only the Adventurers Guild. Some of the elixir materials needed for some of the healing potions are not produced much by our Rainbow Tower and the Boulding family. Most of them come from your adventures. The Adventurers Guild is rich in, so I hope that your Adventurers Guild can refuse to provide elixir materials to the Boulding family in the future. As soon as Jason finished speaking, his eyes were fixed on President Malcolm. He didn't spend much time in the province of London, so he hoped to let him know before leaving. The Boulding family was completely destroyed, so he could feel more at ease after leaving. After hearing Jason's words, President Malcolm's expression changed slightly, and there was a trace of embarrassment between his brows. President Jason, we adventurers always have regulations. No branch is allowed to participate in any battle between local forces. If I agree to President Jason's request, it will be equivalent to completely becoming the enemy of the Boulding family, indirectly helping the Rainbow Tower. This is not in line with our rules. Jason looked at Malcolm and said calmly, since President Malcolm is in trouble, just pretend that I didn't say anything, but take risks in the future. The super-effective healing potions needed by the Adventurers Guild are exchanged for medicinal materials that the Boulding family usually purchases from the Adventurers Guild. In addition, our Rainbow Tower does not accept any form of payment. President Malcolm, I wonder what you think of this. A wry smile suddenly appeared on President Malcolm's face. In fact, everyone knew the rules he mentioned, but it was just a question of whether the benefits were sufficient. President Malcolm, you don't have to make a decision in a hurry. Jason said again, you have to know that our Rainbow Tower is affiliated with the Elixir Tower, and there is more than one super-effective healing potion for sale. Super-effective healing potion, it's just some unfashionable stuff, and there are some things that I believe President Malcolm won't refuse. Jason smiled mysteriously. On the side, Malcolm was lost in thought. What did Jason's words mean? Super-effective healing potions are just unpopular things. There are some things that you won't refuse. What would that be? Suddenly, Malcolm seemed to have thought of something, and his body couldn't help trembling, and his expression was a little excited. He raised his head and was about to speak out, but found that Jason had already walked to the corner of the hall alone with a glass of red wine, and spoke carefully. "Savor it carefully. I will leave the province of London in a few days." Although the Rainbow Tower is now in full swing in the province of London, the Bolding family still has some breath left. Today is the day when all the major forces in the province of London gather together. This is an opportunity. I will take advantage of today to completely cripple the Bolding family. Sitting in the corner, Jason slowly shook the red wine in his hand, thinking about something in his mind. The Lord of Iolos has arrived. Just as Jason was thinking about it, a burst of noise suddenly came from the hall.